Welcome to our U.S. Briefing program. Today, we dive into President Trump's latest move as he slaps hefty tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China, igniting fears of a trade war that could shake the North American economy. With tariffs soaring to 25% on goods from our neighbors and a jump to 20% on Chinese imports, this situation is one to watch as it unfolds. In other news, WA Premier Roger Cook found himself in hot water after a joking remark about U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, which raised eyebrows and questions about professionalism. While laughter filled the room, Cook's apology highlights the delicate balance of diplomacy in today's political climate. Lastly, Taiwan is stepping up its defense game as tensions with China escalate. With plans to increase military spending and enhance cooperation with allies, Taiwan is taking proactive measures to ensure its security amidst growing threats. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these important stories. CNN reports that President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on Mexico and Canada are now in effect, marking a significant escalation in trade tensions with America's top trading partners. The tariffs, which include a 25% levy on imports from both countries and a doubling of tariffs on Chinese imports to 20%, threaten to destabilize the North American economy amid existing stresses. This bold move aims to compel these nations to comply with U.S. demands, but it could lead to adverse effects on supply chains and increase costs for American consumers and businesses, as these countries account for over 40% of U.S. imports and exports. The New York Times highlights the implementation of these tariffs, which have not been seen at such high levels for decades. The tariffs are part of Trump's promise to overhaul trade relations, potentially incentivizing manufacturers to relocate operations to the U.S. However, the sudden changes have raised concerns among foreign governments and businesses reliant on international trade, as they may disrupt established supply chains and strain diplomatic relations. The timing of these tariffs is particularly surprising given recent efforts by Mexico and Canada to address U.S. concerns about drug and migrant flows. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation covers an incident involving WA Premier Roger Cook, who inadvertently called U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance a knob during a lighthearted moment at a leadership forum. While Cook later apologized for any offense caused, he maintained that the comment was meant to be humorous. The reaction to Cook's remark was mixed, with some applauding his honesty, while others, including Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers, suggested they would have chosen different words. Cook has a history of critiquing Trump, warning that his policies could pose economic threats to Western Australia, particularly concerning trade with China, which relies heavily on the state's iron ore. Associated Press reports that Taiwan is set to increase its military spending in response to escalating threats from China, which views the island as its territory. Defense Minister Wellington Koo emphasized the urgency of this move, pointing out that President William Lai is collaborating with the ministry to address these adversarial threats. Currently, Taiwan allocates about 2.45% of its GDP to defense, but this is expected to rise as the military seeks to enhance its capabilities and readiness. Koo also mentioned the importance of deepening military cooperation with the United States and other allies to maintain regional stability, especially as China intensifies its military activities near Taiwan. Yahoo US highlights the Pittsburgh Penguins' recent decision to place defenseman P.O. Joseph on injured reserve, following an injury sustained during a game against the Boston Bruins. Joseph, a former first-round pick, was involved in a physical altercation that resulted in his injury, reflecting the intense nature of the competition in the NHL. The Penguins, currently facing a roster challenge, will need to make adjustments as they head into a crucial 3-game road trip. Joseph's absence will be felt as the team looks to maintain its performance amidst the pressures of the season. CNN discusses the contrasting narratives between the U.S. and China as President Donald Trump implements significant changes to American foreign policy. While Trump's administration faces scrutiny and uncertainty, Chinese leader Xi Jinping is orchestrating a politically stable image during China's annual Two Sessions meeting. This event will showcase China's ambitions for economic growth and military spending, despite external pressures from the U.S. Analysts suggest that China is likely to focus on self-sufficiency in technology and innovation, bolstered by recent successes in its tech sector. As the U.S. continues to impose tariffs, China is expected to reinforce its industrial base while promoting confidence in its economic strategies, signaling a commitment to its long-term goals despite the challenges ahead. Guardian, as the annual parliamentary session known as the Two Sessions unfolds in Beijing, a subtle change in the atmosphere pervades the capital. With heightened security and a visible presence of uniformed personnel, the government is on alert to prevent any protests reminiscent of the Sidong Bridge incident prior to the last Party Congress. The Chinese Communist Party is keen to ensure that the discussions within the Great Hall of the People proceed without a hitch, as these sessions are pivotal for the nation's political landscape. While the outside world grapples with instability, China attempts to position itself as a bastion of order. However, on the ground, the economic reality tells a different story. Many citizens, particularly younger generations, are feeling the pinch of a faltering economy, with rising unemployment and declining consumer spending. The government is under pressure to stimulate growth, with discussions at the NPC expected to focus on fiscal measures and new economic strategies, such as investing in innovation to pivot away from traditional manufacturing. Nikkei Asia, at the United Nations in New York, the son of a Hiroshima atomic bomb survivor has made a poignant appeal for the abolition of nuclear weapons during a treaty meeting aimed at banning such arsenals. Jiro Hamasumi, who was born shortly after the bombing, highlighted the devastating effects of radiation exposure, calling the nuclear bomb a devil's weapon and urging the international community to prevent a recurrence of such tragedies. His sentiments were echoed by fellow survivor Setsuko Thurlow, who expressed outrage at the absence of the Japanese government from the discussions, arguing that Japan, as the only nation to have suffered atomic bombings, should take a leading role in advocating for disarmament. Despite Japan's reluctance to engage directly due to its alliances, the voices of survivors like Hamasumi and Thurlow resonate with urgency, as they call for courage and dialogue to confront the nuclear threat head-on. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email. Turn the lights on.